Hello, everybody. My name is Christopher Saunders, and this is the Connecticut Sports Talent Show. We talk all things talents in Connecticut. And on today's show, I'm pleased to have a dirty Falc from the St. Paul baseball program, Devin Kulas, who is the second baseman, a junior, recently committed to Franklin Pierce. And we'll get into all of that later on during this episode. Devin, it's great to be able to have you on here on the
Yeah,
podcast. Obviously, Devin, one of the biggest things is this program, the team, the success, and we'll get into that in a little bit. I want to talk about yourself first. Is baseball your main sport, or did you play a lot of sports when you were growing up?
yeah, baseball is my first sport growing up. Always, something I always loved playing. But I did play other sports. I played basketball for St. Paul's up until this coming year. So it's always been my first sport for baseball, anyways.
So you escaped being able to hear my voice broadcasting your games, and you did not play basketball.
Yep.
What are you doing? I mean, shame. I'm just kidding.
I should have played this year so I could hear you.
I know. Then I mean, Ryan heard me. Probably got sick of me, but he heard me. But honestly, congratulations as far as your success that you've had, man. It seems like I would think you made the right choice. But
Yeah,
going back to the sports that you played, do you feel like playing those sports kind of, because I know if a lot of people when they're younger, when they stick to one sport, they get burnt out for
yeah,
a lot of reasons. Do you feel like playing multiple sports prevented you from being burnt out?
definitely. It's always good getting a break from baseball, but I mean, can't get sick of baseball. But it also helps playing basketball. I still play basketball with my friends at the park and stuff. So it's always fun doing that. Just to get your mind off things. If you're having a bad game or something, go play basketball, stuff like that.
You're right, though. It's good to get away from the game, even if it's for if you want to go fishing, if you just want to go for whatever the case may be. It's good to get away because, as you would know, and I think everybody who loves the game of baseball, 90% mental. If your mind
Yep.
starts to go crazy, you're going to start overthinking at the plate.
Yep, totally.
Now, during your progressions in baseball, was this sport something that came natural to you where you just had that God-given ability at an early age?
So it's been something I had to work for, definitely. But some of it was given to me, but I had to work really hard to get where I'm at right now. But it helps having guys like at St. Paul's helping me day in, day out. So it's always good having that.
Now, you talk about some of the abilities that you did have at a younger age. What was it? Was it just maybe, having strength at a younger age? Was it your size? Was it arm strength? What was it?
It was always for me. It was always been able to swing the bat well. I've always been swinging the bat well since I was little. Something I was taught about at a young age. Something I just took off on really.
Now, when you talk about the bat, are you speaking about specifically just being able to have that natural hit ability where you didn't have to worry about kind of, even if you were late on pitches, you could still drive the ball even at a young age?
Yeah, it's always, I was always able to drive the ball. I always had like a good two-strike approach. I always had like that mindset at the plate, being able to drive the ball the other way or getting a situation done.
Interesting. So before you went to St. Paul, did you know about the program and Coach Vic, who's the head coach? Just talk to me about that.
So I went to middle school in Sellington. I knew of some people that went there, but I wasn't really educated on the program. Didn't know much about it. But as soon as it went on, I started to hear things and felt like the right fit for me going there, not only like sports wise, but academically wise, being a smaller school and stuff.
Yeah, the one thing too about St. Paul, and I noticed that from the few games I did, I hope to do more next year for
Mhm.
basketball, is that it's a family atmosphere. I kept telling Madden this, who was one of the athletic directors, my former teacher at Sacred Heart. He would always preach it, to me and tell me about like it's such a family atmosphere. Everybody just loves each other. It's a group, so on and so forth. And I saw that. And did you hear about that as well before you went to going to St. Paul?
Yeah, I definitely heard good things about, being a tight school. You really know everyone, you get to know everyone really well. And it's something that, you go along with and you become close to everyone in the school, not only students, but teachers. Like I've had great relationship with teachers over the year that I love talking to every day. And it really is that family atmosphere at school.
Now, your freshman year, that was during COVID, correct? The
Yep.
second half.
Yep. COVID year.
So that had to be quite like that had to be like you didn't have a freshman year.
No, not really. Especially not being able to play baseball. It was hard on me. It was definitely hard on me.
And let's talk about that. I don't mean to go back to the past and kind of
Yep.
relive that, but as a freshman, new high school, you're amped up from September to about early January, and you're thinking like, "Hey, I'm getting ready." I'm sure you guys were doing stuff leading up to that, and
Yep.
then COVID happens. I mean, take me into your mindset. Just how did you get through that?
It was definitely hard to get through that, but having the support system I had around me, my family, friends, especially at home during COVID when I was locked inside, I was still able to get my work in with my dad. Fortunate enough to have a batting cage across the street from where I live, so I could still get my work in, day out. But it was definitely hard being at home, not being able to see your friends for a little bit, but I adjusted to it and I was able to do what I had to do.
Now, talk to me about the workouts that you were able to do. I know a lot of people, when I had football players on my podcast when it first started, when I was trying to, get into the mind of the young athletes and coaches and how they were dealing with the pandemic at the time when it was at its peak. They were very, some very interesting workouts that I heard.
Yeah.
Did you have anything like that, like picking up trees or cars or anything like that?
Not really, because I was fortunate enough to have like a indoor gym at home. Like downstairs in my basement, we had a bench, a squat rack. Got all the really the basics you need, and it helped having my uncle who was a personal trainer as well, writing me workouts and stuff that I was able to do. A lot of body weight stuff, but yeah,
Was it hard at some point though? Because at some point there's going to be like a lull. Like you do
yeah,
it so much, repetitive. Not to say it wasn't fun because you knew at some point there was an end game. But
yeah,
in the beginning of this pandemic, and I think we could all kind of agree to this, even I did because I wasn't broadcasting. I thought, am I ever going to broadcast again? For
yeah.
you, was there ever a point like all this training, all this work? It's like, am I ever going to play again? Because every day it seems like the world's going to end.
Yeah, like definitely there was points where I was just like, what's the point of this anymore? Like, is it ever gonna end? Stuff like that. But you know, hearing everything that was going on, you just had to work through it and just keep going, keep pushing, which I was able to do, and it worked out for me. So
And for the online part, because I know again, freshman year, you go from seeing teachers every day to now everything online. That's just another part to kind of the growth of you as not just a baseball player, but also a student as well. How was that for you?
it was difficult. It was very difficult, I guess you could say, because being at home, there's a lot of distractions at home. Family, just stuff like that. It was hard to focus. Listen to a teacher through a screen for 6 hours a day, trying to get your work done on time.
Mhm.
But
Also too, because you have the kitchen right there as well, right? Very
yeah,
easy to do.
always going to grab snacks and stuff.
Have to. I mean, especially if you're sitting there for 6+ hours, it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I can go grab like a snack, whatever the case that you want. You know what I mean?
And then you got your PlayStation next to you, and then you want to go play
Ooh,
that.
that's food, games. I mean, talk about a double whammy.
Yeah, I know. Doesn't get
But
better than that.
but you kept the grades up though. That's a good thing.
Yep. Yes, I did.
So you end your freshman year. Obviously, pandemic is still kind of going about. During that summer, though, I don't know, was there any baseball going on that you were able to participate in or no?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to have a summer season that year. It was different with the guidelines and stuff. Like it wasn't really like that in-game feel. Like the umpires couldn't be behind home plate or anything. Like they'd have to call strikes behind the pitcher. It was a different feel, but it was something you adjusted to over the time.
Do you feel like that, even though you did not have a freshman year at St. Paul to play baseball, the fact that you were able to at least play during the summer gave you something to at least it kind of gave you a means. I don't want to say means to an end, but a means to at least keep working because it's like, okay, I played something, and
Yeah.
then maybe things are going to at the time slowly get back, and now we are fully back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was definitely good being able to see that live arm because I didn't play for a year, and it's tough not having a spring season, which I was always used to playing a spring season. But during summer, I was able to play 30 something games, see live arms, so it definitely was beneficial for me at least.
In your sophomore year, you were able to actually get back to baseball as things were opening back up again, still under guidelines and protocols and whatnot. But you were able to finally be able to play games and be able to see your teammates regularly and not through a screen. Your sophomore year, how was that for you? Because basically that was quote unquote like your freshman year.
Yeah, it was like having like a breath of fresh air, getting back on the field with your high school teammates. It was my first year, so I was getting a feel for like how the rest of my teammates were and stuff like that. But it was just felt great to get back on the field.
Now, do you remember your first hit and what team it was against?
Yeah, first hit was actually opening day against Ansonia. It was a home run in right field, right center.
Shocker, a home run. I
Yeah.
mean, let me just roll. Oh, it's a home run. There you go. I mean, were you expect? I mean, I don't know if you were expecting. If you were, great. But did you ever envision your first hit would be a home run?
Oh no, not at all. It was pitch I was able to hit middle away. I was able to drive it. Felt great. Family was there and stuff, so it was awesome.
Was the dugout going berserk?
Um, Not really. They're tough on me, so
Really?
yeah.
Oh, see, I would have been like, come on, go crazy. I mean, the kid's basically a freshman. Go nuts.
Yeah.
Who was the first person to kind of like, actually like congratulate you and not give you that tough love? Who kind
Oh,
of
Ryan.
did that first?
It was Ryan, definitely, because he was on deck. So as soon as I got to the plate, shook my hand. He was proud of me.
He was like, good for you, young guy. Now let me show you how to hit it farther.
Yeah, then he had 3 home runs that game.
Yeah, again, go figure. A typical day for
Yeah.
Ryan.
Yep,
There's
of course.
3 guarantees. Taxes, you got to eat, and then Ryan hitting dingers every day.
Of course.
Every day, I feel like I read, and it's like home run after home run. I love it.
Yeah, every day.
Can't get bored.
It's never anything new. It's always a home run or 2, maybe 3.
Always, or maybe 5. We haven't gotten there yet, maybe, but you never know.
Hey, never know.
Exactly. So your sophomore year, man, obviously you were able to kind of start out well, getting the first at bat being a home run, or no, first hit rather being a home run.
Mm-hmm.
Was there ever a point, because obviously you didn't have a freshman year, and I don't know if, when you look at other sports and kind of the rookie seasons, at some point there's going to be kind of like I mentioned earlier, a lull where there's going to be that point where the legs get tired, you're not used to playing all those games. Did you ever hit that point during your sophomore year?
Not really. It was probably the most fun I ever had playing baseball, having those guys around me every day. It was something I never got tired of, and it's something I didn't want to end, to be completely honest with you. We were having a great year, and it felt great being out there. It was one of the best experiences I had so far.
And you guys last year had a fantastic season. I mean, you
Yeah,
went all the way. Like, teams talk about being the last team to play,
yeah,
and you and Coggenshaw were the last 2 teams to play. And
yeah,
I felt like, in my opinion, you guys were the top 2 teams in the state, top 2 out of top 5, whatever you want to classify it. And that was
yeah,
a fantastic game. And you were able to play in Hartford as well at Dunkin' Donuts Park.
yeah.
Uh,
Great experience.
how was that, man?
Oh, it was definitely a good experience playing at Duncan. Like something you dream of playing on like a big stadium like that. It's amazing, especially having fans there, people there. So it was good.
No, I think actually was it Palmer Field that you played on against Coggenshaw, or was it Duncan? I don't remember.
It was Palmer. It was Palmer.
It was Palmer. Okay, I thought it was Duncan. That's my fault. I was thinking for a second. Both very nice fields though. Can't
Yeah,
lie about that.
yeah,
So going through that experience as a team, because I know you returned a lot of those players.
yeah,
To go through that run, to see what you guys are doing now. Not to say that losing the game was good. It wasn't, because obviously you want to win, you want the
yeah.
ring.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. But do you feel like that going through that and getting that taste of like we were so close has kind of propelled what this team has done this year, knowing that you return, yourself and Ryan, and there's so many other, young men who are back. Do you feel like
Yeah.
that helps?
Losing was definitely frustrating at the state championship game. Of course, always frustrating, but it's sort of like we knew what we need to work on. So going into this season, we knew we had to work on having better approaches at the plate, especially when you see better pitching, knowing how to drive the ball the other way, or just everything. It comes to everything, base running, whatever it is. So losing was tough, obviously, but we know what we need to work on coming into this season.
Now, what were the goals that you set for yourself thus far before the season started? What were your goals?
Uh, win. That's all I wanted to do. Is just win. I want to get back at Palmer and win. That's the goal for myself and for my team.
How about during a week, a week's worth of games, you hit 1,000. You're pretty close right now, or last
Yeah,
week.
it's pretty close, but we're gonna work on that eventually. Maybe
Just
one week.
yeah, just get hit every at bat, or just walk and then hit, get a couple hits and you're good.
Yeah, I'll be all right.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. But no, but seriously though, the numbers that you put up, man, are just like astounding. I mean, do you ever like kind of take a second and just reflect on like I hit 818 last week. Like, is that just like, oh, whatever?
It's not like whatever. It's not, something to be proud of, obviously, because you put in all this work in the off season to
Mhm.
do that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's just like you just want to keep pushing after that and keep doing that and doing whatever you can to help keep the team winning.
And I would say that you have, I think, and that, that's what makes this team so dangerous is that it's not only everybody in the lineup and probably everyone, including Coach Vic, could hit home runs. It's the fact that you guys, like the lineup is so lengthy. I mean, you
Yeah.
guys can do it all. I mean, it's not just the home runs. I know the home runs get glorified because it's obviously the home runs, but you
Mm-hmm.
guys can double teams to death. You can pepper teams to death. Obviously, you have the arms to be able to do that. Uh, do you ever kind of sit back when you're in the dugout watching the lineup when you're not hitting or on base, which isn't that much because you do that a lot? But do you ever kind of think to yourself, like, I'm just watching great after great after great after great?
Yeah, it's definitely something you just look at like sometimes and you're just like sit there and you're like, wow, because like I have these guys that are behind me,
Mhm.
Mario, Ryan, Casey, Joey, like all these guys that I have 1 through 9. Like it's just something like we could all hit. Something that you're never worried about. Each game we know that we're going in. We know we're gonna put together hits, home runs, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, you know that we're gonna hit. So
Now, Devin, before I let you go, and I really do appreciate you coming on, you have committed to go to Franklin Pierce. So
mhm.
now, and you're only a junior, so now you have the rest of the time to actually enjoy and not have to stress.
Yeah.
The reason for picking Franklin and Pierce, which is a very good team, you told me about a lot of draft picks coming out of that school since 2001. Just talk to me about why you chose Franklin and Pierce. And yeah.
So when I stepped on campus a few weeks ago, first thing you see obviously is the field. The field's awesome. Everything about it was awesome. And then you go on to campus, they show you around. Just had a great feel for it, great feel for the coaches. It was a good experience for me, and it was somewhere I looked at and it was like I could call this place home for the next 4 years. And after talking to my family, friends, coaches, whatever it was, we decided that it was what was best for me. And it was something that I couldn't really turn down. And I'm very happy with the decision, and I can't wait for it.
And you see an opportunity for yourself to be able to continue what you're doing now. And like I told you before, congratulations, very good school, and I think you'll do wonders there. Devin, once again, one more question for you before I let you go. I will be attending one of your games this week, either Wednesday or Friday. I know I was told, given orders to go Wednesday by
Yep.
Ryan. He's like, you got to go Wednesday. I'll try
Yep.
my best. If I can't, I'll definitely be there Friday, and then vice versa, whatever. But obviously, I'll be able to see the Dirty Falcons themselves. But because I have you on here, when I see you play, what will I be seeing when I watch you play?
A lot of hits. That's what you're gonna see. You're gonna see some hits. Hits again on base.
I
Few
like to
score
hear that.
few runs.
Yeah, a few, aka a lot.
15 maybe.
Average is about 13 and a half. We'll go with that. But Devin, thanks so much for being able to come on. I really do appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun being able to have you on here. Having the St. Paul players on has been always a pleasure. St. Paul itself to be able to
Yeah,
have
thank
on.
you. Thank you for
And
having me.
no problem. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck Wednesday and Friday. And I will be seeing you on one of those days.
See you Wednesday.
I'll wrap things up here on the Connecticut Sports Talent Show. So until next time, stay safe. Remember, CT stands for Connecticut Talent. I'm RJ, and find them all. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, and be well.